Grandma's old radio hums real low, sifting through static across the linoleum floor. A copper penny tucked behind the radiator grate. My fingers are cold and the afternoon is late. The kettle starts to whistle a song I used to know, a postcard from Duluth buried under winter snow. And every little shadow on the hallway wall grows long. We stack the heavy pine chairs high against the storm. A heavy wool jacket kept the chilly kitchen warm. The old brass clock ticking made the dark attic ring, while a silver coin spun on a copper wire string. We never found the letter that was lost in the mail, though the sweet autumn cider filled the tin milk pail. There is a scratch on the maple table from a rusty nail, and a photograph drifting through a jar of lemonade. I remember the smell of fresh turpentine and hay before the circus left town and the bright colors frayed. I was 7 or 9 or maybe 12 years old, holding a wet pebble that felt like pure gold. We stacked the heavy pine chairs high against the storm. A heavy wool jacket kept the chilly kitchen warm. The old brass clock ticking made the dark attic ring, while a silver coin spun on a copper wire string. We never found the letter that was lost in the mail, though the sweet autumn cider filled the tin milk pail. A blue jay leaps from the telephone wire, the smoke curls upward from an unseen fire. Names on a fence post carved in '68. A green glass bottle on a garden gate, it all rushes backwards like water through a sieve, leaving only the simple small details that live. Whose coat was left on the parlor chair? The dust settles slow in the golden air. A tin whistle blowing down the gravel lane, just a blue painted tea tin in the rain. Quiet house held every breath until your name struck like a sudden bell. A phantom shadow crossed the hearth where cold white ashes used to swell. The copper kettle stopped its drip. Flicker moved across the floor. Across the heart, a yellowed map upon the chair still points toward a forgotten shore. The copper kettle stopped its drip, and 30 winters fade away behind a heavy oak tree door. The projector turns its rusted wheel to cast an old parade, a ribbon lost along the path where little children play. The wool coat hanging by the latch remembers every frost, while silver frames collect the dust of seasons that we lost. A cup of tea sits untouched now, the steam dissolved against the pane. I trace the outline of a dress that walked through 68's cold rain. You held a bag of penny sweets and laughed at how the train was late. The projector turns its rusted wheel to cast an old parade, a ribbon lost along the path where little children played. The wool coat hanging by the latch remembers every frost, while silver frames collect the dust of seasons that we lost. A quiet afternoon we didn't try to catch. The grass was high enough to hide our shoes before we had a single thing to lose. The parlor dims as evening falls. The silence reclaims every shelf. A memory is a lonely guest who leaves the light on for itself. The screen door rattles on its pin. The silence reclaims. The street lamp hums a pale blue glow. The clock ticks once, then ticks again. There is nowhere left to go. Rusted brass key sits alone on the wood, beside half a cup of cold tea where it stood. It used to open the porch in Dundee, back when you still kept your secrets with me. The varnish is peeled off the edge of the board, where we counted the small things we couldn't afford. I turn it around in the palm of my hand, a quiet leftover from years in the sand. We traded our youth for a coat against rain, and walked through the station to board the late train. The iron wheel turned while the river ran deep, and promises rust when the night falls asleep. Now nothing remains of the house on the hill, except for the turn of a lock standing still. I remember the winter, the chimney blew down. We walked 3 long miles to the hardware in town. You laughed at the snow sticking fast to my coat, and sang an old song with a tear in your throat. We thought every door that was locked could be opened before any heavy farewells had been spoken. I turn it around in the palm of my hand, a quiet leftover from years in the sand. We traded our youth for a coat against rain, and walked through the station to board the late train. The iron wheel turned while the river ran deep, and promises rust when the night falls asleep. Now nothing remains of the house on the hill, except for the turn of a lock standing still. The light from the window grows thin on the floor. I don't need to ask where you went anymore. The metal is cold, but the memory stays hot. It holds every piece of the time we forgot. We traded our youth for a coat against rain, and walked through the station to board the late train. The iron wheel turned while the river ran deep, and promises rust when the night falls asleep. Now nothing remains of the house on the hill, except for the turn of a lock standing still. I leave it right here by the edge of the cup. Nobody is coming to pick this key up. The room is quiet now, just cold tea and wood. Trolley bell clinks through the heavy fog, and I sit by the window with a cup of black tea. You had a green coat with a missing brass button, and a pocket full of copper that you shared with me. We walked down to the river when the factories closed, talking about places where we'd rather be. Now 30 years have drifted like dry leaves in the street, and I wonder if you still keep that postcard from France. A wooden sign swings in the cold winter air. We traded our boots for a train ticket home. Your hand-drawn map rests on the seat of my chair, made for 2 little vagrants who wandered alone. The music faded out when the lamps burned down, and dark water moved through the sleepy river town. Remember the night that your guitar broke a string, and we laughed until the barkeeper turned off the light. You swore you would travel to the edge of the world without a single shadow or a shadow of fright. I still wear the woolen scarf you left behind. It smells like wet pine and the autumn night. A wooden sign swings in the cold winter air. We traded our boots for a train ticket home. Your hand-drawn map rests on the seat of my chair, made for two little vagrants who wandered alone. The music faded out when the lamps burned down, and dark water moved through the sleepy river town. I saw your older sister at the market today. She said you built a cabin near the northern pine wood. You keep a little orchard and a fireplace of stone, just like you always promised that you would. The street sound dies down as the rain starts to fall. I trace your old initials in the dust on the glass. If your train ever stops at this platform again, we will drink to the ghost of the time that passed. Leave the porch light burning low. Let the chilly north wind blow. I remember every song you used to play. The river runs the very same way. Sweet pine resin drifted past the porch rail, carrying the scent of an October long gone. Old Thomas sat watching the copper leaves fall, unwrapping mint from a tin on his lap. He remembered the day when the timber trucks rolled and the valley smelled rich with the sap. The river ran cold past the mill down below, where a young girl in yellow was laughing alone. She traded her boots for a silver hairband and carved out her initials right into his palm. They buried 2 pennies in riverbed sand before the high waters grew heavy and calm. Now 68 miles keep the county apart, while the rhythm of water stays locked in his heart. The letter she sent came in pale blue envelopes, stashed deep in an oilcloth box in the shed. She wrote of the city and noise in the streets and the cold kept every line till the ink turned to rust, sweeping the barnyard and turning the dust. The river ran cold past the mill down below, while the evening grew quiet and slow. She traded her boots for a silver hairband and carved out her initials right into his palm. They buried 2 pennies in riverbed sand before the high waters grew heavy and calm. Now 68 miles keep the county apart, while the rhythm of water stays locked in his heart. A whistle still blows at the edge of the ridge when the freight train cuts through at 6:32. He turns his old coat to the wind on the bridge and smiles at the sky when the gray turns to blue. The scent of wet pine settles down in the grass. A tin cup of tea on the windowsill cools. The river keeps moving, as dark as green glass, and time leaves its mark on the tools. Heavy oak grooves sink deep into the floorboards. The kitchen seat holds 80 years of strain. You sit there writing songs you can't afford and staring through the fog against the pane. Your hands are young, your knuckles haven't grown. You think the night is something you can own. I take a piece of yellow ledger paper now to send a warning down the river of the past. I wanna smooth the worry from your brow and tell you that the dark won't always last. Do not sell your grandfather's wooden fiddle for the rent, and do not trace the shadow where the autumn river went. The girl in the plaid coat will leave before the snow, so hold your temper steady when she turns around to go, and save the silver dime you spent on salt upon the coast, for time will turn your burning heart into a quiet ghost. You thought that 21 was miles away, a distant kingdom made of brass and tin. Practiced all your chords until the day was bleeding through the curtains from within. You drank cheap tea and swore you'd never change, while all the streets you walked were growing strange. I take a piece of yellow ledger paper now send a warning down the river of the past. I wanna smooth the worry from your brow and tell you that the dark won't always last. Do not sell your grandfather's wooden fiddle for the rent. Do not trace the shadow where the autumn river went. The girl in the plaid coat will leave before the snow, so hold your temper steady when she turns around to go. And save the silver dime you spent on salt upon the coast, for time will turn your burning heart into a quiet ghost. The ink is faint, the postal box is closed. No postage stamp can carry through the years. You'll make the very missteps I opposed, and drink the very same forgotten tears. Yet sitting in this heavy chair tonight, I find I would not change a single light. Keep your boots near the kitchen stove, boy. Let the wood smoke settle on your coat. The heavy chair still holds us both, and love remains the only line I wrote. Copper glare slanted through the window where the dust motes danced in yellow air. A man in a faded navy jacket pulled out the squeaky chrome-legged chair. He looked at the sugar glass container, then raised his eyes and asked the time. I told him the clock was 10 minutes fast. He smiled and offered me a dime. The steam rose high between our cups, a wall of warmth against the chill. He rubbed the scar upon his thumb and watched the river by the mill. He spoke of a girl who sang in Camden back when the boardwalk sparkled bright, and how a single promise made in youth brought comfort through the night. The miles between those distant shores had silvered all his golden hair, yet clinging to that yesterday was what remained to keep him there. He pulled an old photo from his wallet, the edges creased and worn to thread. She wore a blue dress on Independence Day, was every soft word that he said. I saw my own mother in her laughter, though 50 years lay in between. We sat in that roadside pie cafe, two strangers in a shared ravine. The neon sign began to buzz, the evening tide was rolling in. He touched the silver pocket watch and told me where his track had been. A postcard sent from Santa Fe was buried deep inside his coat, with words of grace that time erased along the bottom of the note. The highway calls for lonely men who cast their shadows on the wall, while memory paints a quiet room before the autumn leaves can fall. Sometimes a stranger holds the key to rooms you thought you locked away. You trade a tale across the booth to keep the heavy dark at bay. The bus driver honked out on the pavement. He tipped his cap and turned to go. The copper light turned evening blue. The coffee cup was cold below. Safe travels, friend, I softly said. He left a quarter on the bread. You mentioned yesterday the porch screen was loose, and the wind makes it rattle when the cold air blows. A yellow plastic comb sits on the dresser table beside a pair of clipped up garden hose. The radiator clicks and the kitchen clock skips every second beat. I find myself counting the chips on the blue saucer, watching dry oak leaves blow across the street. A silver butter knife lies crooked in the tray. We stack the brown paper bags to throw them away. The neighbor's spotted hound began to bark at midday, and little things you left keep calling back yesterday. The blue wool sweater has a loose thread on the cuff. A jar of plum preserve has its lid rusted tight. The town phone book from 1965 is propping up the leg of the table on the right. I found a pencil mark drawn high on the door frame, where you stood in your socks on a Tuesday in July. There is no heavy drama in the quiet of this room, just grease near the stove and a dent in the tin. The sound of the latch when the north wind comes in, and leather work gloves that are worn at the thumb. A silver butter knife lies crooked in the tray. We stack the brown paper bags to throw them away. The neighbor's spotted hound began to bark at midday, and little things you left keep calling back yesterday. The porch touchscreen is rattling now, just like you said. A gray cat is sitting on the flower bed. 3 shiny pennies in a saucer by the tone. Just small things left behind when a house is alone. Scratchy yellow flannel rubs against the heel of my palm. I pull a loose thread hanging from the hem. The weave is rough and stiff, preserved in winter calm, and 30 years evaporate like smoke above the stem. Suddenly the kitchen wall turns blue again. Grease from August sausage fills the air. The thumb remembers what the mind forgot. The cotton holds the heat of summer rain. A sudden pull releases every knot, and standing in the doorway is Elaine. She drops her ring into the porcelain sink while water runs to wash away the dye, then turns around before I have the time to think, and tells me some small truths can make a grown man lie. Ticks away the doubt just as the pilot light goes softly out. Her heavy wool sleeve caught the brambles at the ditch, where we sat beside the runoff water till dark. I picked the burrs away with one small silver stitch, and left a tiny jagged crimson mark. I feel that rigid weave against my skin right now. Though she left town before the yoke was bare, 1,000 mornings folded in a cedar chest do not lose the scent of oil and iron grit. I press the fabric tight against my velvet vest to find the exact spot where we used to sit. She drops her ring into the porcelain sink while water runs to wash away the dye, then turns around before I have the time to think, and tells me some small truths can make a grown man lie. The clock upon the counter ticks away the doubt just as the pilot light goes softly out. The yellow thread unwinds onto the rug. The room turns cold and gray again tonight. I fold the flannel close, a quiet hug, and turn off the single standing light. Big painted 4 on the brass wall clock Stairs through the dust in a room I haven't built yet. I will sit in a rocking chair, heavy with years, holding a postcard that today has not seen. I'll remember the way that your fingers smelled of sage when we were young and the world was just green. The fire will crackle on a brick hard floor, and I'll smile at your ghost standing right by the door. I will trace out your face in the lace of the shade, recalling the promises easily made, while the tea on the table turns cool in the cup, and the gentle old days come to gather me up. I will find an old nickel stuck deep in my coat, left from the afternoon we rode on the ferry. I will remember the chill on the deck of the boat, and the red checkered scarf that you used to carry. My knees will be stiff when I lean to the floor to pick up the button you dropped years before. I will trace out your face in the lace of the shade, recalling the promises easily made, while the tea on the table turns cool in the cup, and the gentle old days come to gather me up. We are standing right now in the light of our youth, taking for granted the strength in our knees. I am writing this down so my future knows truth, when my memory rusts like the wintertime trees. The hour hand creeps past the copper-etched 5. Outside the twilight turns slate on the bay. I'll know in that moment I lived full alive, because of the ordinary things from today. The 4 on the clock keeps its quiet, steady beat. I sit in the rocking chair, resting my feet. I close both my eyes and I'm back in this room, smelling your jacket and wild cherry bloom. A single pearl button with 3 little holes rests on the tablecloth where the dark tea spills. It fell off the cardigan you wore in '64 when we walked the steep path up the blueberry hills. I roll it between my 2 fingers real slow, remembering the autumn wind starting to blow. The kettle is cold on the burner tonight. The shadow grows long under low yellow light. I don't think to call you, I don't write a word, just listen to music thread went away with the year. While winter came down on the cedar trees here, we traded our promises for a train ticket home, and left all those letters together in stone. Now 50 miles north, there is snow on the track, and some things once dropped never try to come back. You bought that old jacket at a shop down in town. The wool was too heavy, the sleeves folded down. You laughed at the tailor who lived on 4th Street, and hummed a slow tune with the tap of your feet. I kept every piece that you left in the hall, including this button that survived through it all. The wood stove is dark and the pine needles fall. Your name stays unspoken behind every wall. I sit with my teacup and watch the clock creep before the late hour demands I should sleep. The needle and thread went away with the year, while winter came down on the cedar trees here. We traded our promises for a train ticket home, and left all those letters together in stone. Now 50 miles north, there's snow on the track, and some things once dropped never try to come back. A photograph fades if you leave it in light. A song gets forgotten by middle of night. But a tiny round shell on a pine tabletop can hold 30 summers and never quite stop. It rests on the linen, so heavy and small. The porch light flickers down the dark hall. I put down my glass and I turn out the lamp, leaving the night cold and quiet and damp. An old iron wheel rattled on cobblestone paving, calling the shopkeeper out to the street. I sat by the window and thought of our winter, sharing one coat in the slush and the sleet. You talked about Denver, you talked about leaving, holding a mug with a chipped porcelain rim. We had 9 silver coins and a pocket of matches and stars that were fading out dim. The years turn like pages in cheap paper novels. We grew up and traded our boots for a suit, but I still hear the chorus. outside while you laughed at the rain coming down. And you swore we would never get stuck in the gears of this tired old manufacturing town. We crossed every alleyway down by the bend and swore on a penny our summer wouldn't end. You hummed out a stanza strummed for the two penniless wanderers under the moon. Now I count all the miles that your old shoes have made, and I bless every verse that we played. I still have the notebook with pages tore out, the scribbles of courage before we moved out. If you're sitting somewhere with cold coffee tonight, listening close to the evening train light, just know that I keep your place set at the board. And I still play that chord. The iron wheel passes, the avenue clears, a bicycle bell echoes soft through the years. I'll keep a spare nickel right here in my hand for the best guitar player in all of the land. Damp chicory root and wood smoke drifted across the gravel where the fence post leaned. Old Samuel watched the heavy curtain lifted to see if 60 years had washed it clean. He smoothed his knuckles on a wooden ladle, remembering how the river ran in June. Delia rocked a birchwood pine-carved cradle and whistled softly to an off-key tune. The orchard lane was narrow then, before the highway cut the glen. She bought a silver ring in Cumberland town and wore a yellow ribbon through her crown. They danced upon the planks of Miller's shed, with half the county watching where they lived. And though the mill fell down in '73, he holds that summer like a copper key. Her handwriting was sharp on grocery paper. She kept a list of spices by the sink. He remembers how the tallow from the taper would drip into the bottle of blue ink. They never had much cash for county fairs, just 2 brass tokens for the carousel. She liked the autumn wind that caught her hair and spoke of secrets that she'd never tell. She bought a silver ring in Cumberland town and wore a yellow ribbon through her crown. They danced upon the planks of Miller's shed, with half the county watching where they led. And though the mill fell down in '73, he holds eyes that summer like a copper key. A neighbor brought some cider in a jar to sit a spell upon the northern porch. They talked about the winter and the evening star, while memory flickered like an oak wood torch. The porch steps sag beneath the heavy weather. The garden path is choked with goldenrod. Two faded leather glove palms bound together rest quietly beside his book of God. He folds his hands and listens to the swallows who build their nests above the cellar door. He follows where the winding shadow follows and doesn't ask for youth or praise anymore. The chicory scent remains upon the breeze. The shadow lengthens through the walnut trees. He closes up the kitchen screen and dreams of places where they've been. The quiet room broke under one sharp thought, like dust disturbed along an attic stair. A silver frame upon the table caught the pale amber light of August air. The parlor clock had drifted down to slow, while shadows stretched across the braided rug. And suddenly, 19 years ago, was resting in the handle of a mug. The record stops, the needle starts to ride. A movie spool red threads itself inside. The station wagon idled by the standard pump. You paid $2, wiped the windshield clean. We watched the evening shadow make a lazy jump across the gravel toward the drive-in screen. And neither spoke a word until the lights turned low, because we knew exactly where the night would go. The curtain sways beside the open screen. A static hiss comes faintly through the wire. The color footage shifts from brown to green beside an old abandoned campfire fire. I see your yellow dress with linen seams, the way you tied your shoes with double knots, now floating up through decades like a dream, in quick pan shots and blurry close-up spots. The projector bulb is flickering away, reeling back the frames of yesterday. The station wagon idled by the standard pump. You paid $2, wiped the windshield clean. We watched the evening shadow make a lazy jump across the gravel toward the drive-in screen. And neither spoke a word until the lights turned low, because we knew exactly where the night would go. A camera angle tilts toward the sky, where blackbirds cut through clouds and fly on by. The lens goes soft around the edges now. I lost the when and where, the why and how. Now stillness takes the living room again. The dust settles slow on picture glass. I put away the notebook and the pen, and watch the evening twilight gently pass. The thought that broke the silence drifts away, leaving just the quiet end of day. The screen fades down to black. The reel spins out, no turning back. A quiet house, a fading track. The picture's done. Who put that broken saucer on the garden wall? It catches gray rainwater when the hemlocks fall. My thumb remembers smooth stone and a jagged tear, and sheep are bleeding down along the creek somewhere. A silver dime is lying in my coat pocket seam. I wonder if a cedar tree can share a dream. The air smells like wet wool and rusted wire, and smoke is climbing slow from someone's yard fire. A cold wind turns the pages of an unread book. The river steals the shadow that the I trace a crooked line across a paper map, and drop an acorn down into an apron lap. The yellow bus is late again along the ridge, and 40 years are floating underneath the bridge. Your brother had a bicycle with blue steel rims. He traded it for apples from the orchard limbs. I still can hear the gravel when the tires skidded tight. The pantry smelled of cinnamon and paraffin light. I thought about a letter that I never mailed. The latch upon the chicken coop was loose and failed. A cold wind turns the pages of an unread book. The river steals the shadow that the willow took. I trace a crooked line across a paper map, and drop an acorn down into an apron lap. The yellow bus is late again along the ridge, and 40 years are floating underneath the bridge. One thought slides into another like a river bend, a white horse in the meadow where the fences end. I hear a wooden spoon against a ceramic bowl, and every small forgotten thing becomes a whole. The chimney swallows scatter when the August dies. I see your mother's apron in a crow's dark eyes. The tin roof rattles gently under falling nuts. A wagon leaves 2 tracks inside the dried mud ruts. That saucer holds the rain until the drought turns dry. A hawk is spinning slowly in a pale gray sky. The dime stays in my pocket with a bit of string. I can't remember if we used to learn to sing. Where did the blue painted tea tin go? Nobody answers the hall phone anymore. Grandma's old radio hums real low, sifting through static across the linoleum floor. A copper penny tucked behind the radiator grate. My fingers are cold and the afternoon is late. The kettle starts to whistle a song I used to know. A postcard from Duluth buried under winter's snow. And every little shadow on the hallway wall grows long. We stack the heavy pine chairs against the storm. A heavy wool jacket kept the chilly kitchen warm. The old brass clock ticking made the dark attic ring, while a silver coin spun on a copper wire string. We never found the letter that was lost in the mail, though the sweet autumn cider filled the tin milk pail. There is a scratch on the maple table from a rusty nail, and a photograph drifting through a jar of lemonade. I remember the smell of fresh turpentine and hay before the circus left town and the bright colors frayed. I was 7 or 9 or maybe 12 years old, holding a wet pebble that felt like pure gold. We stacked the heavy pine chairs high against the storm. A heavy wool jacket kept the chilly kitchen warm. The old brass clock ticking made the dark attic ring, while a silver coin spun on a copper wire string. We never found the letter that was lost in the mail, though the sweet autumn cider filled the tin milk pail. A blue jay leaps from the telephone wire, the smoke curls upward from an unseen fire. Names on a fence post carved in '68. A green glass bottle on a garden gate, it all rushes backwards like water through a sieve. leaving only the simple small details that live. Whose coat was left on the parlor chair? The dust settles slow in the golden air. A tin whistle blowing down the gravel lane, just a blue painted tea tin in the rain. The quiet house held every breath until your name struck like a sudden bell. A phantom shadow crossed the hearth where cold white ashes used to swell. The copper kettle stopped its drip. A flicker moved across the floor. The yellowed map upon the chair still points toward a forgotten shore. And 30 winters fade away behind a heavy oak tree door. The projector turns its rusted wheel to cast an old parade, a ribbon lost along the path where little children play. The wool coat hanging by the latch remembers every frost, while silver frames collect the dust of seasons that we lost. A cup of tea sits untouched now, the steam dissolved against the pane. I trace the outline of a dress that walked through 68's cold rain. You held a bag of penny sweets and laughed at how the train was late. The projector turns its rusted wheel to cast an old parade, a ribbon lost along the path where little children played. The wool coat hanging by the latch remembers every frost, while silver frames collect the dust of seasons that we lost. There is a photograph taped inside my watch, a quiet afternoon we didn't try to catch. The grass was high enough to hide our shoes before we had a single thing to lose. The parlor dims as evening falls. The silence reclaims every shelf. A memory is a lonely guest who leaves the light on for itself. The screen door rattles on its pin. The street lamp hums a pale blue glow. The clock ticks once, then ticks again. There is nowhere left to go. It used to open the porch in Dundee, back when you still kept your secrets with me. The varnish is peeled off the edge of the board, where we counted the small things we couldn't afford. I turn it around in the palm of my hand, a quiet leftover from years in the sand. We traded our youth for a coat against rain, and walked through the station to board the late train. The iron wheel turned while the river ran deep, and promises rust when the night falls asleep. Now nothing remains of the house on the hill, except for the turn of a lock standing still. I remember the winter, the chimney blew down. We walked 3 long miles to the hardware in town. You laughed at the snow sticking fast to my coat, and sang an old song with a tear in your throat. We thought every door that was locked could be opened before any heavy farewells had been spoken. I turn it around in the palm of my hand, a quiet leftover from years in the sand. We traded our youth for a coat against rain, and walked through the station to board the late train. The iron wheel turned while the river ran deep, and promises rust when the night falls asleep. Now nothing remains of the house on the hill, except for the turn of a lock standing still. The light from the window grows thin on the floor. I don't need to ask where you went anymore. The metal is cold, but the memory stays hot. It holds every... We traded our youth for a coat against rain, and walked through the station to board the late